Have you heard the buzz? A smartphone from Tesla? We're talking solar charging, satellite internet that never drops, and, oh yeah, a direct link to your brain. It's called the Tesla PiPhone, and it has absolutely taken over the internet. So is this the incredible future of technology we've been waiting for? Or is there something else going on here? Today, we're going to separate the facts from some very, very sophisticated fiction. I mean, just look at this list of rumored features for the so-called Model Pi. It's nothing short of science fiction. We're talking about a phone that completely eliminates dead zones by connecting directly to Starlink satellites, a phone that charges itself from the sun, and the most mind-bending feature of all, a direct interface with Neuralink, promising to turn your very thoughts into actions. It's pitched as the one device to rule the entire Musk ecosystem.
So the vision being sold here online is one of total, seamless integration. A single device to control your car, your home, your whole digital life.
But the promise goes one giant step further, suggesting a fundamental shift in how we even interact with technology by plugging it straight into our minds. It's an absolutely amazing concept, the ultimate smart device. But before we get too carried away, we really need to hit the brakes and look at the reality behind all this hype.
After all the buzz, all the viral videos, all the sleek concept art floating around, it all boils down to one simple question. Is any of this actually real?
And the answer is a hard no. That's right, as compelling and as cool as it all sounds, there is zero official, credible evidence that Tesla is even thinking about developing a smartphone. The PiPhone is a phantom. It's a myth born and raised on the internet. So you might be wondering, how did this get so big? Well, it's a perfect case study in modern misinformation. First off, there's never been an official announcement. In fact, Elon Musk himself has publicly shot down the idea, and those super slick images you've seen of him holding the phone, totally AI-generated fakes. What's crazy is, this isn't even a new rumor. It's been popping up since 2021, and each time it comes back, it gets a little more detailed, a little more believable. But fact-checkers across the board all agree it's completely made up.
But here's where it gets really, really interesting. While the phone itself is a total myth, the core ideas that make it so exciting, especially that idea of connecting your brain to a computer, that part is very, very real. The hoax is just the shadow of a much bigger and honestly, a much more incredible story.
To get to the bottom of this, we need to talk about Neuralink, Elon Musk's neurotechnology company. This is the real-world science that sparked all those sci-fi rumors in the first place.
See, Neuralink is developing something called a brain-computer interface, or a BCI. And put simply, it's a direct line of communication between your brain's own electrical signals and an outside device. No keyboard, no mouse, no touchscreen, just a direct connection from your mind to a machine.
Now, the process for how this works is both fascinating and incredibly complex. First, a surgical robot implants a tiny, coin-sized device into the skull. From that device, ultra-thin, flexible threads, we're talking thinner than a single human hair, are carefully placed into the brain to read the electrical activity of your neurons. And finally, that little device wirelessly transmits your neural signals to a computer, which can then decode what you're intending to do into actual commands. And the vision for this technology is really twofold. On one hand, you have the short-term medical promise, and this is staggering, helping people with paralysis regain their autonomy, treating neurological disorders, even restoring functions like sight and hearing. But then there's the long-term ambition, and that's where things get really wild. We're talking about merging human intelligence with AI, fundamentally enhancing our own cognitive abilities, and maybe, just maybe, one day allowing us to communicate just by thinking. And this brings us right back to where we started. That Tesla phone hoax imagined a world where your brain is connected to the internet. But what happens when that's no longer a fantasy? What are the risks of putting the most private data imaginable, your actual thoughts, online? This new frontier means we have to come up with entirely new words for entirely new threats. Experts are already defining concepts like neuro-phishing, and that is a terrifying evolution of the scam emails we all get today. Imagine an attack that doesn't just trick you into clicking a bad link, but one that uses your own decoded neural data, your emotions, your subconscious biases, to manipulate you directly. And if you think that sounds like an exaggeration, a 2020 research paper on this very topic lays it out pretty starkly. The quote says that the threat isn't just about stealing data, it's about giving hackers the ability to manipulate the very fabric of our minds, our thoughts, our memories, maybe even implanting false ones. The risks are huge, and they come in a few different flavors. You have thought exploitation, where your private memories could be exposed to blackmail you. There are cyber-physical neural attacks, where a hack could cause direct physical harm by messing with a medical implant. And just like any piece of hardware, these devices could be tampered with in the supply chain long before they ever get near a patient. Okay, it is a daunting future to think about, for sure. But the good news is that cybersecurity experts, ethicists, and neuroscientists are already working on how we can build a secure neural frontier. They're not waiting for the problem, they're trying to solve it now.
So what do these defenses even look like? Well, to counter unauthorized access, we could use brainwave authentication. Essentially, your unique neural signature becomes an almost unforgeable password. To stop data from being intercepted, we'll need brand new encryption protocols designed specifically for biological data. And to prevent all-out misuse, we need to be proactive with governance, establishing new ethical frameworks, sometimes called neuro-rights, to protect our fundamental freedom of thought.
The big takeaway here is that securing our own minds isn't just a technical challenge. It's not just a coding problem. It's a massive societal one that's going to require intense collaboration across every field, from the engineers building the tech to the ethicists and policymakers who are going to have to regulate it. And all of this leaves us with one profound final question. The Tesla Pi phone might be a hoax, but the technology it fantasized about is coming, and it's coming fast. As we merge our minds with machines, we have to decide what that means for our identity, our privacy, and our very definition of what it means to be human. So as our brains connect to the internet, who is responsible for what we think? That's a question we all need to start answering right now.